and I really wanted to reiterate a certain point that I brought up before. I thank God I'm not the chief rabbi of the entire world or the universe. Jim is not Pope James. We're not speaking for all Jews and Christians. We are not imposing our beliefs upon anybody else. We're telling you what the two of us from two different backgrounds, using Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek and other historical things, what we have found working together over 25 years or more now, because we find it interesting. It brought us together, and it turned on the lights in many cases of things that we always thought, these memes, and we'll have to talk about what a meme is, and but this is very important. So please understand that about what we're doing, because it's very important.
Yeah, we use a linguistic approach, a linguistic model for understanding the Hebrew words that Jeffrey's reading, which means that we have to deal with the fact that they're written in different symbols, Hebrew instead of English. They come from people with a different culture, and so the culture assigns the meanings to those words. And so as we go through this, we're just sharing with you what we've learned. This is our opinion, our conclusions from a lot of work and a lot of the research. This is just not off the top of our head feelings about something. And our goal is really very simple. Let the Bible text tell its own story. We want to know what those words meant to somebody thousands of years ago. And obviously that's a very big challenge. But we can really determine real quick what they didn't mean, which are some of the things that we thought they did mean, if that makes any sense.
Right, and that has to do a lot with the culture too, that it's coming out of. This is 2018, almost 2019, and some preacher or some rabbi determines that he's using this text, which has nothing to do with where they're at, to prove their point.
Right.
You have to understand this the way the original people heard this. In order to do that, you have to know something about their culture, about their customs, about their language, the grammar that's included. You can't just translate something the way you want it. You have to take into account how does the grammar tell you to translate this.
Yeah, and what we're going to find is that a lot of things that we were taught in our schools that ordained us really aren't what the text says too. And that's kind of a challenging position to find yourself in. But let's go to this verse 2 right now, because as we said, the first verse he read earlier set the stage for what's going to happen. This mysterious creature called an Elohim that we don't know what it means yet is going to create, and we don't know what that means yet, a Hashemayim and Haaretz, and we don't know what those things mean yet. But
that strange word bara.
Yeah, bara is a big one. But the structure of the text began with an introduction to what's going to happen. And now in verse 2, the author is going to tell us the existing conditions of creation before the creation process began. So if you would read that one.
Okay, verse 2 says, V'ha'aretz hayata tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei ha'tehom v'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim.
And what's a typical translation of that?
And this Aretz, was unformed, void, and choshech, a darkness, al pnei tehom. It was on the face of the deep. And here you go, another one. Ruach Elohim mirachefet. So the spirit or wind of this Elohim, whatever that is, and the verb is in the feminine. It hovers al pnei hamayim, on top of this water.
And that's important because in Hebrew there's no neuter. Everything's masculine or feminine. And so instead of saying it hovered, we'd really say she hovered, right, above the face of the waters.
And that's the grammar.
Yeah.
Right? So
the funny thing here is that before anything happened, before this Haaretz, which is translated earth, was created, there was darkness, there was a huge body of deep water, and there was a Ruach Elohim, wind, spirit, something hovering over the face of the waters. Now this created a real problem for us, because we were taught that only God existed before the beginning of creation. But now we find that there's darkness that exists, that there's a deep body of water that exists, and that this Ruach Elohim thing exists before any act of creation is done. Wasn't that a shocker for you too?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about messing with some theologies. This is a biggie. But it taught the first principle in the text, and that is mystery. Mystery is a normal part of life. And the text of the Torah, the Bible, begins with a mystery. And trying to understand how that mystery unfolds is what the whole rest of the text is about. And so we're going to continue this in the next video.